Good morning, everyone. Yes. So this is the first time for me to come and visit Buddhist Fellowship. So I'm very happy to be here. So today we are going to learn Wasala Sutta. Actually, this is from Sutta Nipada. The Sutta from Sutta Nipada is regarded as the early Buddhist teachings. So these are very important. So as you all know that Mangala Sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta, all these Ratana Sutta, like this. So all these important suttas are from Sutta Nipada. So we are going to learn one of the important sutta from Sutta Nipada today is the Wasala Sutta. So I was requested to teach this sutta. That's not my choice. So anyway, that is very important sutta. I'm very happy to teach. Earlier, I was requested to teach Mangala Sutta. So later they changed. So before we learn Wasala Sutta, I want to explain some two suttas which are related to Wasala Sutta. So if you understand a little bit of these two sutta, so you will understand Wasala Sutta much better. And this is a one of the famous verse from Dhammappada. Dhammappada verse number 183, right? I think everyone knows this one. Not to do any evil, to do good deeds. These are two aspects of morality, right? So I think not only Buddhists, anyone, right? So not to do any evil, to do good deed. To purify one's mind. So this line is very particular, very significant, especially for Buddhists. To purify one's mind. Actually, this is a samatha and vipassana, right? That is a much more, how to say, is significant in Buddhism. Especially vipassana practice can be found only in Buddhism, right? So this is teachings of the Buddhas. Teachings of the Buddha is a very famous one. So the first two lines, not to do any evil, to do good deeds. So these are two aspects of morality, sila. And to purify one's mind. So that is a samatha and vipassana, right? Another one we can call it meditation, right? Meditation. So I think that everyone knows this verse, this very famous one. Normally, if somebody asks what is Buddhism, what is teachings of the Buddhism, so we normally teach this verse. So therefore, that is very famous one. So here, not to do any evil, to do good deed, to beautify one's mind. This is teachings of the Buddha. Another sutta, actually this is from Anguttara Nikaya, Popana Sutta. All these translations, I use Bhikkhu Bodhi translations because it's very reliable, right? So actually, he translated Popana as a auspiciity. Actually, it's not a literal translation. Popana is a good morning, right? So in that sutta, the Buddha said that bhikkhus, those beings who engage in good conduct by body, speech, and mind in the morning, have a good morning. The very clear and very important suttas in Buddhism. If you are doing good deed by body, speech and mind, so that will be good morning. Normally, some people think that if you see beautiful things, if you hear a beautiful song, that will be auspicious day, right? Normally we have a lot of omens and signs that we believe, right? So if you see or hear such a omen, you think that that is a auspicious day, right? According to Buddhism, it's quite clear. If you do good deed by body, speech and mind, so that will be a good morning. Like that, if you do good deed by body, speech and mind in the afternoon, that will be a good afternoon. A very simple suttas and very important sutta. Likewise, if you do good things by body, speech and mind in the evening, that will be a good evening, right? It's very beautiful and very clear. So for that reason, before we learn Wasala Sutta, I think we should know this concept. So that is very important concept in Buddhism. So there's only three things. Doing good things by body, speech and mind, right? But of course it is very general. Then later I will show you what are the things you should do with your body, right? I think that many of you have known all these one. So I think before we learn Wasala Sutta, you should know that one, right? Another one is a Chonda Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya. Chapter 10, Sutta number 176. So this one was very important. So in that Sutta, the Buddha questioned Chonda. Do you know Chonda? Do you know that person? The one who met the Buddha and who offered the last meal of the Buddha, right? Chonda. And of course, not that time. Earlier, Chonda also met the Buddha. So that time, the Buddha asked what to believe, right? What he believes, what he follows. The Chonda said that he followed teachings of a particular Brahmins who believe that if you pay homage to the sun, if you dive into the water 3 times a day, so that will be, they will have a good luck and purification of the mind, like this. So in that Sutta, I think no time to go in detail. So I think it is also important Sutta to know. So in that Sutta, the Buddha talk about the purification of the person or purity of a person. So actually in that Sutta, the Buddha said that if you refrain from 3 unwholesome bodily actions, you will have purification. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, right? So actually, we are not explaining, I'm not explaining in detail all these one. I think everybody know it, right? So these are 3 bodily actions. So if you do killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, so that will be a bad deed, right? A bad deed with your body. The Wasala Sutta is a closely connected all these suttas. I think before we learn Wasala Sutta, I think we should know all these one, right? Here we have 3 bodily actions. If you refrain from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct, so that will be good deed, right? So earlier I said that to refrain from not to do any evil, right? That is evil to do with your body, to do good deed, right? If you refrain from all these unwholesome bodily actions, so that will be good deed, right? So refraining from these three bodily actions is called sila. So another one is a four verbal actions: telling lies, slandering, hard speech, frivolous talk, or nonsense talk, right? So these are the actions that you do by speech, right? By speech. So if you do these four verbal actions, that will be unwholesome deed. But if you refrain from them, that will be wholesome deed or good deed. So later I will refer back to these teachings, right? Another one is the three mental actions, typo error. Three mental actions: covetousness, ill will, and wrong view, right? So actually here, to beautify one's mind. So if you can beautify your mind from all these defilements, then you will have the purity of the mind. So to beautify all these mental actions, meditation, right? Meditation. So I think that all these are called 10 causes of unwholesome deed, right? If you do all these unwholesome deed with your body, speech, and mind, that will be evil deed or unwholesome deed. If you refrain from them, then if you do wholesome deed, so that will be wholesome. I think before we learn Wasala Sutta, we must know these 10 causes of unwholesome deed, right? Another sutta is called Bala Pandita Sutta. Bala Pandita Sutta. The Mangala Sutta, I think last week you learned about Mangala Sutta, right? The first one is not to associate with fool, right? To associate with the wise. So how to define the fool and the wise? So this is the Sutta, Bala Pandita Sutta. So in that Sutta, the Buddha said that bhikkhus, there are three characteristics of a fool, signs of a fool, attributes of a fool. What three? Very simple one. Here, a fool is one who thinks bad thoughts, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. That's foolish people, right? Actually, that is a Buddhist definition of foolish people, right? Very simple one. Everything is connected. So one of the beauty of the suttas or teachings of the Buddha is that every sutta is connected. There is no contradiction. There's no contradiction. Everything is linked. If we understand properly, you will understand that there's no contradiction in Pali Canon. So here, what the Buddha said is, the fool me, the one who thinks bad thought, right? So we have a three type of bad thought: covetousness, ill will, and wrong view, right? Wrong view. And speaks bad words. So we have four verbal actions, right? Telling lie, slandering and hard speech, and frivolous talk. And that's bad deeds. So we have a three type of bodily actions, right? Killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. If you are doing all these one, you are foolish, right? If a monk is doing all these wrong do's, he is a foolish, right? who are the wise men? And the Buddha said that, bhikkhus. So there are 3 characteristics of a wise man. Signs of a wise man. Attributes of a wise man. What 3? Here, a wise man is one who thinks good thought. Instead of covetousness, and you have a generosity and letting go. Instead of away, you have a compassion, loving kindness, and desire to help other people, right? So these are things, good thought. And speaks good word. Instead of telling lie, you tell the truth. Instead of slandering, and you use things that make unity, etc., right? So these are the speaks good words. And that's good deeds. Instead of killing, you're trying to protect people. Instead of stealing, you're trying to protect your property, the property of your family, your country, right? And instead of sexual misconduct, you're trying to protect your family, you are faithful to your partner, like this, right? So these are the signs of the wise man. Actually, very simple and very logical. So if you just learn the 2 or 3 suttas, you will understand that teachings of the Buddha is objective, based on the facts, not based on the personal belief, right? So therefore, it's very important to understand all these basic foundations of the Buddhism, right? So up to here, so we now know that Buddhism is objective. Whoever, I very often said that if a monk do unwholesome deeds, he is foolish, right? If a lady body is doing good deed, he is the wise, right? It doesn't depend on the clothes you wear, the place you stay, the jobs you do. So it depends on your behavior, your thinking, your speech, and your actions. So then we can decide who is foolish, who is wise, based on our actions, speech, and our thought, right? So if you know this Buddhist teaching, and you will clearly understand the teachings of Wasala Sutta. Before we learn Wasala Sutta, I want to show caste system in India. I think everybody know caste system. At the top, gods and goddesses, right? God and goddesses, they are highest. Then after that, the Brahmin. Actually, the caste system in India is very strong. Even today, still strong. Then second, Kshatriya. Actually, I do not know. Sometimes I do not know somewhat. Actually, these are written in Sanskrit. My pronunciation may not be correct. What I know is in Pali. In Pali, Brahmana and Kshatriya. Second caste is a Kshatriya. Kshatriyas are the kings, the rulers, the minister in the government, right? The warriors and kings. And third one is in Pali, Usa. Merchants, landowners, right? Businessmen. So all these are Usa. So according to caste system, the first 3, Brahmin, Kshatriya, and Usa, these are very important classes in caste system. The last one is in Pali Sutra, right, in Sanskrit. So all these are commoners, peasants, and servants at the lower level of the society, right? Society. Then I think that, so these are four classes of caste system. But we have another level. It's called untouchables. People do not want to touch, right? If they are touched, they need to clean their body, right? They need to clean their body. So therefore, untouchable. So today, the sutta is Wasala Sutta. So Vasala means outcast, the outcast, the outcast. So these are the class of the people are not count, even the four classes of the caste system. They are very low, lower than four classes of caste system. They are under untouchables, right? Untouchables. So there are some of them are street sweepers, latrine cleaners, right? So we are very lucky in Singapore, right? Singapore is lucky, no caste system, right? Even the cleaner are treated well. So very lucky. So today the sutta is Wasala. Wasala means outcast, right? So there is another type of people. So they use in India is the unseeable, the unseeable. Even they don't want to see them. If they see them, they consider bad luck, unseeable, right? So therefore, I think that the caste system is very strong in India. Therefore, we can find in Pali Canon, there are many sutta that, so we define the level of the people based on their action, their speech, and their thinking. Other than that, not important, right? Not important. So therefore, Buddhist teachings are very objective, right? Very objective. So now let's go to the Wasala Sutta. Actually, we will go a little bit quicker. I think that we have a 50 minutes Q&A time. If you want to ask any question, you can raise your hand anytime, right? Anytime. Because in between you may have some questions. Later you will forget. You can ask any questions, right? Okay.
One of the bad deeds is actually killing.
Okay.
And does it only mean human killing, or does it extend to all kinds of killing? Like
any type of living beings, right?
Whether it's an animal or
even insect.
Okay. So then my question is, I see a lot of Buddhist countries.
Okay.
Thailand,
Myanmar.
Yes. Where 80-90% people are Buddhists, but eating meat is accepted very well, and they are good Buddhists. So my question is, how is killing then sort of okay?
A very hard question. Actually, of course, so we have to differentiate between religions, teachings of the Buddha and society. Because the Buddha teach exceptional teachings. And then people cannot follow everything, right? But of course, there are some people who can follow every teachings of the Buddha. So it's up to them whether they want to follow vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism. But of course, if we think that if we eat a lot of meat, it involves killing, of course. But in Theravada Buddhism, especially in Theravada Buddhism, as a Buddhist monk, we are not vegetarianism. We are non-veg normally. But the Buddha clearly said that if you want to become vegetarianism, it's up to you. But as long as a Buddhist monk, you need to go for alms round, right? You know alms round? We have to collect alms. So people will cook any type of food, including non-veg, right? Meat. So we cannot say, it's very, very difficult to get a vegetarian food. So the Buddha said it's up to them. But if the meat is prepared for you intentionally, if you know that this meat is killed because of you, you don't have to eat. But regarding with the people in Buddhist countries, as I said that the teachings of the Buddha is no exception. So we have to refrain any type of killing to any living beings, right? But of course, we are human beings. We are human beings. So I think that people will not be able to follow every teachings of the Buddha, right? But of course, we have to minimize. We have to minimize, I think. Not to kill, not to involve killing, right? Okay, thank you for good question.
Thank you.
Okay, any question? Okay, let's go. Then the Vasala means an outcast, a person of low path. So as you have seen that even in the 4 classes of caste system, the Vasala, an outcast, is not mentioned, right? Lower than 4 classes of caste system. An outcast, a person of low path. This sutta clearly expresses the Buddhist definition of an outcast or lower class, right? Lower class. And the factors that make a person an outcast. Then on one occasion, actually we are not reading all the detail, right? All the detail. If we read, no time, I think. So I think that we have to finish before 11:45. So this sutta was taught by the Buddha when he was staying in Jetavana, Savatthi. Then the Buddha go for Pinapata. So then the Buddha was going one house after another. Then on that occasion, at the residence of the Brahmin, Cakkapala Raja, a fire had been kindled, an oblation had been prepared. So as you know, these are Brahmins. Cakkapala Raja is a Brahmin. He was tending a fire to please the god, right? So as you know that, I think many of you have seen the Brahmin. They tend the fire and they put offering in the fire, right? That there will be smoke. So the smoke will bring their wishes and their desire and to the God. The God will answer, right? So therefore, a fire has been kindled, an oblation has been prepared. The oblation like a rice, honey, and ghee, etc., right? So they put in the fire, and the fire, that there will be smoke. The smoke will bring to the God, right? So Cakkapala Raja is doing that. So by that time, he saw the Buddha, and he's very angry. So he think that it is not auspicious. It is an auspicious, unlucky sight for them. And he taught to the Buddha, stop right there. You shavelin. Shavelin means the one who shaved the head, right? Just like me, right? Actually, as a Buddhist, to see a monk is considered as a auspicious and blessed. But in India, right, at that time, right? As a Brahmin, to see a shaved monk is a not auspicious, unlucky sight, right? So therefore, he said that, stop. You shavelin, right there, you low ascetic. So here, samana is an ascetic or a monk, right? But here you can see samana ka. The ka is a you little boy, a tome of the want to look down on them, right? If you want to look down on them, you little boy like this, right? You little guy like this. Right there, you outcast. He considered the Buddha as the outcast, right? So when this was said, the Blessed One said to the Brahmin Cakkapala Raja, but do you know, Brahmin, what an outcast is, and the quality that make one an outcast, right? As you know, in India, 4 classes of the caste system. The Brahmin, the ruling society, ruling class, and the merchants and businessmen, and normal people, right? But here, he even do not consider the Buddha as one of the 4 caste system. Untouchable. He consider as the untouchable, right? Stop there. Do not come to my house, right? Do not come to my house. Then the Buddha said, do you know an outcast is and the quality that make one an outcast? Then Brahmin said that, I do not know. And please explain, right? Actually, the Buddha taught to him very calmly, without any anger. But he became very ashamed. And so therefore he said that, I do not know, so let me know your opinion. Yeah? Then the Buddha said that, listen carefully, listen attentively. So actually we have 27 verses. 27 verses. I think we have to go very quickly. Don't worry that you all understand. Very simple English. You all understand. So actually I have explained that we have 3 bodily actions, right? Don't forget that all these 4 verbal actions and 3 mental actions. So everything included all these 10 causes or actions, right? I think we don't need to, explain so much. A man who is angry and hostile, an evil denigrator, deficient in view, a hypocrite, you should know him an outcast. Actually here, the Buddha do not define what an outcast is based on the person, but he defined being an outcast based on the actions. But here, angry, hostile, so all these are mental actions, right? Mental actions. Evil, denigrator, deficient in view, hypocrite. So as you know, we have learned 3 types of mental actions. So all these are included in the 3 types of mental actions, right? This is the first one. So by studying the first verse, you understand that the Buddha definition of an outcast is based on action, right? Based on action, mental action. And second one here who injure a living being. It's a type of, it's included in the bodily action, right? Normally we know that killing. Actually, the first one, not only killing, but also injuring any living beings. If you beat a person, it is included panadipada, right? It is the branches of panadipada. Whether once born or twice born. Actually, this one, twice born here means if a Brahmin was born, right? Physically, the first one, the first time. But when he grew up, he undergo the process of purification. That is another type of rebirth. So therefore, they are called twice born. So if the ruling class society and also the businessmen, also they also can be called twice born, physically and also spiritually. But the last one, the commoner, the peasants and normal people, they do not have chance to learn religious scriptures. So they just do something for other three classes of the people, right? So therefore they are called once born. So they have only physical rebirth, physical birth, right? Who has no kindness toward living beings, you should know him as an outcast. So here, if you look at this second verse, so injuring a living beings, right? Not only killing, but also injuring. And you do not have a kindness and compassion toward all living beings. So that means you are an outcast. Even if you are a monk, even if you are a prime minister, if you are doing all these one, you are an outcast, right? You are an outcast. And that one who strikes and attacks villages and towns, notorious as an oppressor, you should know him as an outcast. Here also, injuring people, right? Injuring people, striking people, attacking people. So these are included in the bodily action, right? Bodily action. So if you are doing all these one, you are considered as an outcast. Any question? If you have any question, any time, right? I think the sutta is very simple. If you know the visit teachings, not difficult to understand, right? Then fourth one, whether in the village or in the forest, one who takes what is not given. So that is a type of stealing, right? Stealing. Adinadana. Stealing the belonging of others, you should know him as an outcast. So if you are doing stealing in the village or in the forest or in the town, the commentary mention in the city and town elsewhere, right? So if you just look at village and in the forest and you can steal in the town and city, not like this, right? So if you steal, so you are an outcast. So we define being upper class or lower class based on your action. Very beautiful, I think. So therefore, I think if you look at teachings of the Buddha, objective, not subjective. And number 5, one who have been taking out a loan flees when pressed to pay it back, saying, I'm not indebted to you. So if you have a loan from other people and you said that, no, I didn't take anything from you, right? Telling lie, right? Telling lie is a type of stealing. So this also, if you understand 10 causes of unwholesome deed, we don't even need to learn all these ones, right? So all these ones are included in the 10 causes of action. 10 causes of action. Number 6, one who desire for some item strikes a person traveling along a road and take away the item. Robbery, right? Robbery. So if you do robbery, then also an outcast. This is also a type of stealing, injuring people. And number 7, a person who for his own sake, for the sake of others, and for the sake of wealth, speaks falsely. Musavara, right? Musavara. When questioned as a witness, you should know him as an outcast. So if you tell in line, you are an outcast. Actually, based on your action, right? Then number 8, one who is seen transgressing with the wife of his relatives or friends, whether by force, just like a raping, through endurement, just like a mutual affection, even you love each other. If you are get married, you don't have to, right? So you are transgressing with the wife, his relative and friends. If you do that, sexual misconduct, right? Then you are an outcast. Number 9, if one who is able does not support his mother and his father, when they have grown old, their youth gone, you should know him as an outcast. And then for you, I think this one is very important, right? You have money, you are able to support your parents, but you forgot and you ignore them, right? If you do so, you are an outcast. That's very important. Actually, every sutta is linking. So if you learn Mangala Sutta, Buddha Matapitu Upatana, right? Supporting your parents. It is a blessing. It is auspicious, right? But here, you are able, you can support them, but you ignore. You don't do that. So actually, so that is, according to this sutta, is you are outcast, right? Your standard is not, not height, right? No height. Then number 10, one who strikes and verbally abuses his mother or father, his brother and sister, or mother-in-law and father-in-law, right? You should know him as an outcast. Based on our verbal action, right? Actually, this just talk about in brief, right? So if you understand 10 causes of unwholesome action, so all these are included there, right? Slandering and harsh speech. So if you use harsh speeches and slandering, so it is also your standard is very low, right? We can call an outcast. Number 11, one who, when asked about the good, instruct others in what is harmful, who give advice in obscure way. You should know an outcast. Actually, no need to explain all this one, right? And very simple. When have been done a bad deed, wishes, may they not find out about me. You concede your fault, right? Some people are not honest. They want to concede what they have done, right? That's also not good. Not truthful. Type of lying, right? Actually, this is very for you. You visit a family, you eat a lot. Then when they visit your house, you ignore them. You do not give any food, right? Actually, it's covetousness, right? You're greedy. You don't want to give them back. If you do so, an outcast. Then 14, if one deceived with the false speech, a Brahmin or an ascetic or some other mendicant, actually it's religious people, right? Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, every religion, right? If you deceive them, then you are an outcast. And number 50, if at the meantime, one verbally abuse a Brahmin or an ascetic that has arrived and does not keep in any food, you should know him as an outcast, right? Verbally abuse. Not giving anything is okay, but you verbally abuse them, right? You drive them away like this, right? Let's talk about verbal action. One here who speak what is untruth, enveloped by delusion, seeking to obtain something for himself, you should know it as an outcast. But this one is very important. Some people extol themselves and despise others, right? So I'm very good, better than you, and they are very bad, like this, right? So you are full of conceit. Then you should know an outcast. 80. One who provoke anger, stingy, evil desires, miserly and deceitful, without moderation and moral track. So all these are mental actions, right? So all these included in the 3 types of mental actions. So if you have that, you are an outcast. Then 90, one who revile the Buddha and who revile his disciple, whether a wanderer, a hausura, you should know an outcast. There's also slandering, right? Hard speech. 20. One not actually an arahant, who claim to be an arahant. A thief in this world along with the Brahma, this indeed is the lowest of caste, right? So a man who is not arahant, he is deceiving the devotee as he behaved like an arahant, right? So he is the lowest outcast. I have explained to you these outcasts that are spoken of, right? Actually, the one who deceives disciples and devotees, so he is not arahant and he pretend like an arahant, right? He's the lowest outcast. This is very important verse. I think this verse is mentioned twice in the suttas. The most important lines. One is not an outcast by birth. Very important one. Nor by birth is one a Brahmin. Actually, as I said that Buddhism is objective, not subjective. By birth, you are not a foolish man. By birth, you are not a wise man. But based on your actions, by body, by speech, and by mind, then only we can decide foolish man or wise man. But here, the outcast, lower class, right? The Brahmin, a religious person. By action, one becomes an outcast. By action, one becomes a Brahmin. Only if you do good things, you will become a wise man. Only if you do a good things with your body, speech, and mind, you become a wise person. Otherwise, you will become a foolish man. Whether you are a lady body or a monk, anyone, right? Anyone. So I think this is the main point here, the main verse in this sutta. So if you can remember all this line, more than enough. That today I think if you remember 10 causes of unwholesome deed, and also this verse, more than enough. So I think that this is a Buddhist definition of upper class and lower class, right? Not by birth, by action. And the Buddha gave an example of Martinga. Martinga is an outcast. But later he attained 8 jhanas and also supernatural power. Then people, including the kings and Brahmins, they pay respect to him. Actually, by birth, he is an outcast. But later, he have jhanas, 8 jhanas, as well as supernatural power. And people pay respect to them. By action, right? Attaining jhana, supernatural power is by action. And when he died, he passed on to the Brahma world. So actually, after attaining the jhana, and when he died, he doesn't have any sensual lust. Then he became a Brahma. His social class did not prevent him from rebirth in the Brahma world, right? So actually, he was born as an outcast in India, but he attained jhanas. Then he became a Brahma, right? Those born into a family of reciters, Brahmins who specialize in the sacred hymns, are often seen involved in actions that are bad. Some Brahmins, here, if we say Brahmin, we can also say some priests or some monks, right? Even monks, we can say that. Even though they wear the robe, if they are doing unwholesome deed, bad deed, we can call them an outcast, right? An outcast. But here the Buddha said that the Brahmin who was born in a Brahmin family, and they involve in action that are unwholesome deed. They are responsible in this present life and have a bad destination in the future life. So their social class, being a Brahmin, does not prevent them from a bad destination or reproach. Even though they are Brahmin, if they do unwholesome deed, they will go to bad destination, right? That is what the Buddha said. It's very quite clear. So therefore, this is the last one. One is not an outcast by birth, nor by birth is one a Brahmin. By action, one became an outcast. By action, one became a Brahmin. Right? So that is the main teachings of the Buddha in this sutta. So if you do unwholesome deed, you are an outcast. If you do wholesome deed, you are a higher person. We cannot call it Brahmin. Of course, in this sutta, Brahmin represent higher class, right? Higher class. So in Buddhism, we do not define higher class by birth, but we define by action. So this is the main suttas, the main verse in this sutta. Then after that, the Brahmin Cakkapala Raja became very pleased, and he taught to the Buddha to accept him as a follower of Buddhism. Right? So if we finish the sutta, then if we summarize the meaning of the sutta, if you do 10 causes of unwholesome deed, you are an outcast. If you do 10 causes of wholesome deed, you are a Brahmin or higher class. So that is main teaching. And I think by learning this sutta, then we can understand that Buddhism is Buddhism define a foolish or the wise based on their action. So therefore, teachings of the Buddha is objective. And also, by learning all these 2 or 3 suttas, then you understand that the teachings in the Pali canons are linking each other, no contradiction. Okay, thank you so much. Then we have a 10 minutes question and answer time.
Any questions, brothers and sisters?
Bhante, I just want to ask you whether you know who created the caste system. Is it because of the Hinduism religion? Pass it down, or do you have any comments?
According to historians, the caste system was invented 1500 BC, very long ago, 3,000 years ago, right? Because I think the reason is the geographical background and maybe background of the India. I think, as you know, that the natives of India in earlier time are Dravidian. So the people you can find in South India. So later, Aryan people from Caucasian regions, so they came down to India, and they drive Dravidian native people, and they set up human settlement, and later they have religions. Later in their mind they think that they are higher than those Dravidians, right? So when they occupy the land of the Dravidians, so they invented caste system. They are higher. So you all are the outcasts or untouchable, right? So later, of course, people began to believe themselves they are an outcast, right? They are an outcast. So according to historians, 1500 BC. So I think 3,000 years ago. No, not 3,000. 3,500 years ago, right? Yeah.
Just wonder, how about in the Hinduism, do they mention about the caste system where they like agree with it, or there's no comments? Or
of course, this is within the Hindu scriptures. They call it, I'm not quite sure whether I pronounce correctly, Vana, or actually this is a very deeply rooted system in Hinduism. But even in Singapore, so the higher class of people, they they do puja within their society. The lower class, especially the Indian from southern part, they cannot join those services. Because in Mangalavihara, we have one Hindu society, and they come to our temple and they use our teaching hall for paying for puja service. So the people in lower caste, they cannot join. Actually, I think that all Hindus are the same. So therefore, I told them, so we have a Hindu service session, then you can join. But they cannot join. So, but they join our puja, Buddhist. Even though they are Hindu, they join our Buddhist service. Yeah.
Thank you. No questions.
Bhante, can you elaborate a bit about what is considered as frivolous speech?
Oh, frivolous. Actually, it's nonsense or frivolous talk, right? Sometimes we enjoy. So just like a gossip, talk about things that is not fruitful, right? For those who are using social media, normally we're using for many hours, right? Many hours. Even such one we can consider as a frivolous talk. Even though we are using, looking at WhatsApp and Facebook, if you are using many hours without any aim, right? Actually, we can consider as a frivolous talk, right? It is not a talk, but it is a type of spending our time without any directions, right? But here, the Pali is a the Pali is a Sampapalaba. Sampapalaba means such type of speak. You are how to say your purpose or your benefit. So if you're talking such a nonsense talk or frivolous talk, it destroys or it kills all your benefit, all your time, precious time. Then all you are, it will lead to, how to say, if you're using frivolous talk very often, people will not believe you, right? People will consider you are talking nonsense, right? So that is it. The literal meaning of Sampapalapa is killing or destroying your own benefit. So the speeches that destroy or kill your benefit, that's called Sampapalapa. Okay.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. I think time's out now for Bhante. Let's say sadhu again 3 times for Bhante and then follow with the press back. Bow 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.